Riley versus Mark. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mrs. Riley, I assume this is your daughter and this is your daughter. Is that right?
Correct.
Neither one of you were there on the fateful evening when your daughter got Mrs. Riley's car.
Yes.
And drove it and crashed it.
Yes.
Causing damage. And Mrs. Riley wants you to pay for the damage your daughter caused.
Correct.
And your daughter, whose name is?
Stephanie.
Stephanie says that
Kayla
gave her the keys to the car, so she's responsible. That's your position.
That's what I've been told.
So now that I know what your positions are, and you look like two lovely ladies, you can sit down, and I'm going to have the girls right up there. All right, Kayla, where were you and what were you doing when you gave Stephanie the keys to your mother's car?
I was at a friend's house.
Name of the friend?
Aaron.
How old is Aaron?
I think he's 18.
And how many people were at Aaron's house?
I would say about 10 people.
How old were they?
All around the ages between like 15 and 18.
How many of them were drinking?
I would say almost everyone.
Did you see anyone that said, no, I don't drink?
One of my friends, the friend who said that they were driving, did tell me that they didn't drink.
And who was that?
My friend Felipe.
Who invited you to Aaron's house?
Another one of my friends.
Where were Aaron's parents?
They weren't there. I think that he owns the apartment himself.
So Aaron lives there by himself?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
What does he do for a living, Aaron?
He goes to school, and I'm not sure what his job is.
He goes to college?
He goes to high school. He's a senior in high school.
What kind of alcohol were they serving?
Beer.
And what time did you get there?
I got there approximately 10:30.
What time did you get there, Stephanie?
Probably like 9:45.
Who did you come with?
My friend Mike.
Your friend Mike.
Yeah.
How old is Mike?
Like 18.
And he picked you up from your house?
My friend Danielle's.
Had you been drinking at Danielle's?
No.
You didn't start drinking until you got to Aaron's?
No, I didn't drink there.
You didn't drink anything?
No.
Had nothing to drink, no alcohol?
I had no alcohol.
And Mike, did he have alcohol?
No. He left before, like right when he got there. He only stayed for like 15 minutes, then he left.
Well, and when he was there, he didn't drink?
I wasn't with him at the time.
So, you know you didn't drink. As far as you know, Mike didn't drink. Did you drink?
Yes, ma'am, I had a beer.
Who else didn't drink?
My friend Christina.
She didn't drink?
No.
Now, tell me, Stephanie, how it came about that you got the keys to Kaylee's car.
Kayla got there a little while after me, and when we were standing there,
Standing where?
In the middle, like the kitchen and the living room. And when we were standing there, there's only three people there who had cars. Michael had left, and Aaron, but he wasn't going to leave, and Kayla had a car. And there's a kid, Josh, there, and he needed a ride home. And Kayla said, well, I have a car. And she goes, well, I'm too cocked to drive.
Okay, so today apparently we have two teenagers who decided to go for a party with people who are not necessarily in their age range. And then we have teenagers drinking, and we all know that usually gets so messy. I'm so confused right now on like who is who and which friend is which friend, because a lot of friends are being mentioned in this particular case. But I know Judge Judy is going to get to the bottom of it all. Let's actually know who is at fault. Yeah, who is at fault for this particular tragedy that struck on the car. So the person that drove said it's because the other person gave her the key, so it's technically her fault. Well, we know how teenagers can be, so let's keep watching to see what the verdict ends like.
So we were standing there, and I offered. I was like, well, I'll drive. And she's like, will you really? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay. So
why would you offer to drive? You don't have a driver's license.
No, I don't.
You certainly, according to you, weren't drunk.
No, I was not.
So there's no excuse for you saying that I'll get behind the wheel of a car when that's against the law.
Well, I didn't want Kayla to drive because I didn't know if she was going to drive, so
Let Josh walk. That's what he has legs for.
Yes, I know.
Like Abraham Lincoln. I mean, I would like to hear all the rest of the excuses, Miss Stephanie.
So we were standing there, and then Kayla showed me her keys, and me, her, and another friend walked outside to the car, and there's a couple of our friends standing outside, and they were smoking cigarettes. I got into the car, and I didn't want to go by myself, so I invited Christina and Felipe to go. So we got into the car, I started the car, and Kayla came out and talked to me. And she said, "Are you going to be okay to have your seatbelt on?" And I said, "Yes." So she shut the door. And she goes, "Make sure you're back in 20 minutes. And I was like, "Okay." And I went to bring him home.
So what you're telling me is Kaylee couldn't drive because she was too drunk.
Yes.
And you weren't because you didn't have any alcohol.
No, I wasn't there for long.
Okay. Miss Mark, you can stand up now. Now you can tell me why you think your daughter is not responsible.
I don't think she's responsible because she doesn't have a valid license, and Kayla knew this.
Okay. Now, when you get someone's permission to do something, and they are incapable of giving you permission, that's like having no permission.
Okay.
You can be incapable of giving permission because you're in a coma, you're mentally challenged, you are high on drugs, you're loaded on alcohol. But if you are in any way incapacitated, you can't give a valid permission. Let me give you an example. If you're out with a young man and he knows that you're drunk and he wants to have sex, and he does, and he knows you're drunk, and you say, "I didn't give permission. He knew I was drunk. He knew I couldn't consent. He did this against my will." And you'd be right. Now, your daughter just told me that she didn't have anything to drink. Now, I don't believe her necessarily, but that's what she told me, because that's what the good story would be, that she didn't have anything to drink. That, by the way, Miss Mark, is a lie. Thing to drink. So she knew she was 15. She knew she had no permission getting behind the wheel of a car. She knew she couldn't get anybody else's permission to drive a car. Can't drive yours, can she? No. No. And according to her, she knew or believed that the reason she couldn't drive to give Josh a ride home was because she was drunk. Because that's what she just told me. She said, Kaylee said to her, "I can't drive. I'm too, what, clocked, cocked, whatever it is. I'm too drunk." That's what the connotation was. So she was incapable of giving her permission, according to your daughter, who's lying, by the way. But I'll take it. Now, your daughter has no reason at 17 to be in a situation where she can be high, drunk with a beer, and have keys to your car.
I understand that.
So what do you think, Miss Riley, is reasonable with regard to the damage to your car?
The deductible and the difference I paid for the car.
What was the damage to your car?
They totaled it.
And so what is your out-of-pocket expense? How much did you pay for the car, and how much did you get from insurance?
Okay, I paid for the car $24.75 in May. What I received from the insurance company was $1741.75.
That leaves a difference of $734. Now, did you buy this car for your daughter, or was it your car?
No, I bought it for her.
You bought it for her.
Yes.
Does she now have another car?
No.
That's good. She doesn't need one. 734 divided by 2. 50% for you, 50% for you. Equals $367. You think you're 50% responsible, or your daughter is, for the damage to the car?
We both are. Yes.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $367. That's all.
I really love how this case was a very quick one, because I mean there's not a lot to see here. We clearly have a daughter who doesn't want to get the bad side of her mom by saying that she didn't drink at a party where everyone was drinking. And yes, the judge was right to point out that if you can use the excuse of being drunk and then getting sexually assaulted, it's still applicable when your friend is drunk and gives you consent to drive a car. So it's really, really nice how the judge didn't put the whole bill on the defendant, rather shared it equally between the parents and friends. So what would you have done in this situation? Who do you think is actually right, or did the judge unfairly give this particular judgment? So I'll see you guys in the next court case.